Hi, everyone. My name's Abby King. I'm the Conservation Director with the Upper Saco Valley Land Trust. And Izzy is here too. Izzy joined us this summer at our office in Conway, New Hampshire, hailing all the way from her home in Canton, Mass. And of course, her second home at UNH in Durham. And Izzy's a rising senior working towards a double major in community and environmental planning and sociology, and a minor in environmental conservation and sustainability. And she grew up spending summers taking paddling trips on the Saco during every summer. And so it was very fitting and fun and appropriate that she join us this summer to study the National Park Service's Wild and Scenic River program and learn all that there was to learn about how and if the Saco River could achieve a designation with that program. She set us on the path to success by building on existing networks and community members and created all sorts of new connections and momentum for us to do this work as a coalition. And since Izzy has far and away become the expert on the National Park Services program and the Saco River this summer, I will shut up and let her take it away and share all that she worked on and accomplished with us this year.
Thanks so much, Abby. Yeah, like Abby said, I'm Izzy, and I've been working with Upper Saco Valley Land Trust this summer. Mainly, my main project has been working on protecting the Upper Saco River and doing that mainly through starting the Wild and Scenic River designation for the Saco and beginning that process. So USVLT's mission statement involves preserving the ecological systems and cultural values of the Upper Saco River Valley area. And so this really connects to the work I was able to do this summer because I was working specifically with helping to preserve the Saco River. When starting this project, one of the first things we wanted to think about were what were the different threats to the Saco and what was causing those threats. So I have here an example with these pictures. As you can see on the top, there are two examples of rare and native species that you can find alongside the Saco. And then below that is a bunch of tubers all together going down the Saco. And so sometimes what will happen with either paddlers or tubers as they're going down the river is they might get out and accidentally trample these rare native plants, which is one example of something that we were looking at this summer. Next slide, please. Yeah, so I also was really happy to get a lot done this summer. I think some of my biggest accomplishments included establishing the Saco Wild and Scenic River Coalition. And this has been kind of a collection of environmental protection organizations like USVLT, as well as livery companies and other community groups who have been interested in working directly with the Saco. We also confirmed that the Partnership Wild and Scenic River program was the best path forward for protection of the Saco. As you can see in this picture, there's me at one of our coalition meetings, and we were going over kind of the pros and cons of different protections, and we ultimately decided upon this, which was great. And then the last big thing I would say that I got accomplished this summer was planning out the next steps for the Saco Wild and Scenic River designation so that the larger coalition and USVLT could kind of carry this work on beyond me. Next slide, please. All right, and so talking about the next steps, this is a graphic I'm using for the report I'm making that really shows kind of where we're at currently and where we still have to go. So we're currently at step 1 there with gathering support for the Wild and Scenic River study with hopes of passing a bill for that study to get that completed. And then eventually, of course, we're hoping to get the Wild and Scenic River designation for the Saco. So while I was only here a short time this summer, there were definitely some pretty big takeaways for my summer. One of the big ones was that I realized connections are extremely crucial for environmental work of any kind. And so that really, when I thought of that, I think of the coalition of when you're starting a project that's as big as the Wild and Scenic River designation that takes many, many years to complete. it's really important to have a group of people all focused and advocating for the same goal as you. So that's been really huge for us. And another big takeaway that I had was that sustainability involves the whole community. And this might be something people are like, well, duh, but it's really difficult sometimes to think about and include people with different opinions, especially if they're disagreeing with you. But ultimately, you know, everybody is going to be impacted by this project. And it's really important to consider these different community member perspectives so that they feel involved in the process and hopefully a part of the solution as well. So yeah, with that, I wanted to thank Abby King again for being an amazing mentor, and the rest of USVLT for giving me this awesome opportunity.
Terrific. Wonderful, Izzy, and thank you so much. I think we have time maybe for one question before we get into our Q&A. So I'll go to Dr. Wake has asked, what is the biggest takeaway, or excuse me, the biggest challenge in getting the Wild and Scenic River designation?
Yeah, I would say the biggest challenge, because it's a federal policy, it involves a lot of people, and a lot of people, again, like I was mentioning with the disagreements, there's a lot of, especially like misinformation around what the Wild and Scenic River designation is. And a lot of people think it's very anti-development, so they can be really hesitant towards that. And I've also heard some people have the opinion like, oh, we don't want people from away telling us what to do with our land and our river. So kind of breaking down those barriers in that sense, and coming to a consensus with that everybody is okay with and can support has been really tricky. But yeah, that's kind of like what I was saying with my last takeaway. It's really important to involve everyone still.
Absolutely. And that, that notion of how you frame both the problem and also solutions is so critical. And maybe that's a theme that I think has popped up repeatedly throughout all these presentations today. So, all right, well, Izzy, thank you so much.